everyone, I'm here. I don't care what anyone thinks, and I'm not sorry for being me, and here I am. Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel. Confidence. In this video I'm going to be completely honest and real with you on my perception of confidence and how you can begin to be confident yourself. I have watched a lot of videos about confidence in my time. A lot of them tend to repeat the same things that I do not find helpful. And it is things like changing your posture, keeping your shoulders back, and walking with confidence, and smiling at everyone. And as much as those things are a part of being confident, it is so much easier said than done. And so hopefully some of these things that I have curated for you will help you to see a new perspective, if not try and motivate you, okay? So the first thing you need to know is that confidence is not a personality trait. It is a skill that can be learned. It is a social skill. Everyone has the capacity and the potential to learn how to be confident. It is a skill, and this is why in my recent video, 22 things I've realized in 22 years of life, I will leave that in the description, I mentioned that confidence can be built by faking it. And a lot of you wanted me to go into more depth on that. So step one, you need to make the decision. So you need to make the conscious decision that you want to be confident. You have to decide to be confident. You're never gonna wake up one day and feel confident. Throughout my mid to late teens, I did consider myself very shy. I labeled myself as an introvert, as socially awkward, socially anxious, didn't do well in social situations, and I labeled myself as that, and so that is what I became, and that is what I was. But I decided that I'd had enough of being shy. I didn't want to be shy anymore. I knew that there was so much more to me than what everyone thought I was. So I decided to be confident. And with practice, it becomes a habit. And if you've read the book, The Power of Habit, you will understand how important habits are to shaping who you are and your actions and your life. When this becomes a habit, it will become more naturally and it will slowly become a part of your being. You also need to realize that you don't have to be awkward. So many people label themselves as an awkward person because they don't know how else to perceive themselves. But let me tell you, a situation is only awkward if you make it awkward, and you do not have to make something awkward, and you don't have to be awkward. It's the type of people that are like, oh my god, I'm so awkward, or oh my god, that was so awkward. Don't be that person that's like, well, that was awkward, because first of all, you're putting yourself down. Second of all, you're just making something awkward that doesn't need to be awkward. So just don't be that person, okay? Also, you are allowed to be confident, so allow yourself. I give you permission to be confident. So there's the first thing you need to know. So you've made the decision to be confident. So next, a few feelings are going to arise in yourself. What if I'm scared of doing something stupid, or I'm scared of failing, or I'm worried what people will think of me, or what if I do something really embarrassing, or what if I try to be really confident and then it just all goes to shit. So here's where step 2 comes into play. Realize that you have nothing to lose. This is really important. Nothing bad can happen to you from coming out of your shell, and there is simply no point to being shy. Pay attention to what I'm about to tell you. People do not care about what you do as much as you think they do, and people don't think about you as much as you think they do. Therefore, there is no need to hold back through fear of embarrassment, because everyone else is far too busy worrying about themselves, worrying about embarrassing themselves, and worrying about what other people think of them. Just by realizing that people really don't care if you muck up. People really don't, because honestly, everyone's far too busy thinking about their own problems. People don't care enough either way. They're not going to care if you're shy. They're also not going to care if you're confident. So you may as well be confident. So how to start? Confidence starts in your head. You first have to believe that you are amazing. You really, really have to believe in your own worth and your own value, because if you don't first realize how amazing you are, subconsciously you will never let yourself out and you'll never let yourself shine. And this can be a really huge step for a lot of people. It can either be easy or it can be difficult, or it can just take a long time. Now, I do need to say that I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychologist, and I'm not an expert on mental illness or any of those kinds of things. All I can do is give my own advice and experience. But what I will say is there are a lot of books out there that are aimed towards self-love and to help you realize your own self-worth. This one, You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero, I think that's how you pronounce her name, is a really good one to help you start to realize how amazing you can be. In a nutshell, you really have to understand how amazingly awesome you are. You have to see that you are a unique individual and you have so much worth. You have to love yourself and believe you are awesome first, okay? So my second point to start helping confidence, a good place to start is to observe confident people and mimic them. So whether it's someone you admire or someone that you've just noticed in school, college, uni, work, wherever you go, or even a fictional character that you watch on TV, if there's someone you admire that you see as such a confident person, you'll know this because there's something magnetic about them and there's something of ease about them, and everyone seems to like this person. They have ease talking to people, they seem to have something about them that they just go and get what they want. Maybe they're humorous or assertive. Find someone that you admire, observe them. Observe what they do. Do they greet people in a certain way? Do they always say good morning? How do they hold themselves? How do they care for themselves? How do they walk? How do they use their voice? When do they speak up? How do they answer questions? Do they seem to always say what's on their mind? How do they hold eye contact? How do you feel when you talk to them? Do they really, really listen? Take little traits from their social behavior and practice that in your own social behavior, even if it's just the way that they always say hello to the receptionist in the morning and they use their name and they say, "Hello, Shirley," or "Good morning, Shirley." Start mimicking those certain things. That relates to my next point, which is if you're going to do something, do it with intention and do it with certainty. Don't be half-assed about things. Really do them. Here's an example, okay? So you're at a party and there's cake and everyone's had their slice. So you've already had a slice of cake, but you want another bit. But everyone has that second guessing moment where they're like, oh, like I feel a bit awkward getting another bit of cake. Like everyone's gonna think I'm greedy, or, you know, oh, what are people gonna think of me? But here's the thing, if you want another piece of cake, go and get another piece of cake. And if you're going to go and get another piece of cake, don't do it self-consciously or sneak over and hope nobody sees you and like sort of apologetically take another slice. Don't be that person. If you want another piece of cake, you go over to that table and you grab another piece of cake and you eat it. I don't know how else to explain this, but if you're going to do something, do it with all your might. And this applies to other things as well. So say you want to go over to that person at the bar and introduce yourself and buy them a drink. A lot of people can make this situation very awkward and can feel very awkward, but it doesn't have to be. Don't kind of fumble your way around it like, so, you know, do you want a drink? Like, don't feel apologetic about saying it. You want to buy someone a drink, so be like, I'm gonna buy you a drink. Do you know what I mean? Just buy someone a drink. Don't be half-assed about anything. Do everything with all your might, okay? And linking to that point, greetings are incredibly, incredibly important, because if you have a strong greeting, the rest can follow suit. And this is the same with the half-assed thing. Oh my God. Be the person that gives a good, firm handshake, not a half-assed, flaccid attempt at a handshake. There is nothing more awful than a flaccid handshake, and oh my God. If you're gonna hug someone when you greet them, give a good, warm, secure embrace. Don't give a half-assed, slightly apologetic air hug like you're not sure if they really want a hug. If you're gonna give someone a hug, just give them a hug. The thing is with doing things with uncertainty is that nobody likes it. It's the whole thing with the handshake thing. If you're giving a really uncertain attempt at a handshake, nobody likes it and it's not gonna help you. So just go grab their hand and give a good firm handshake. And I'm using this as an example, but it kind of goes with everything. In that sense, what I'm trying to say, which I keep repeating, is do things with intention. Don't be uncertain about it. If you've chosen to do it, just do it. My next point is, I've written it on my laptop as arrived. So I'm going to share with you a little anecdote from when I was young. My mum and my brother were consoling me and comforting me after I'd expressed that I was really struggling with social anxiety in groups of people at school. And I think I was around maybe 13 or 14 at this time, which is the most self-conscious time in most people's lives, at least it was for me. And the thing is, I knew I was amazing, and I knew I did have a lot of self-worth, but I didn't feel that I was being acknowledged, and I didn't feel that I was being valued by the other people in my class because I was shy, and everyone knew me as shy, and I hated that, and I didn't know how to change it. I remember my brother saying something that I would never forget. I've got my table in front of me. I need to act this out, okay? So he was like this. He was like, you know, you just need to walk into the room and say, "Hello everyone, I'm Isabella." And obviously we all just burst out laughing because it was so funny, because just even imagining myself doing this as a 13-year-old girl in my class just made me laugh. But it also held a lot of truth and meaning in it, because it kind of made a lot of sense, because it is demanding to be acknowledged. You have to, you know, demand to be acknowledged. You are here and you are valuable. Be unapologetically you. Don't be sorry for being here or for entering a room or for being in a room. In your head, you know, I am here. Hello everyone, I'm here. Do you know what I mean? And in your head you kind of have to go through that. And I kind of try to always have that when I enter a room, and it's the same with parties and stuff like that. A lot of people struggle with parties. I love parties, but when I enter a room, I'm just like, in my head I'm like, hi, I'm here. And it just fills me with this energy that I can do anything. I can go talk to anyone, and you know, I'm here, I'm valuable, and I'm me, and I don't care what anyone thinks, and I'm not sorry for being me, and here I am. And you need to take that into yourself however you can and however you want to do it, but you need to find that, and you bloody need to do it, because it's the only thing that will break that barrier, I'm telling you. So don't be sorry for your presence. Grace people with your presence. Walk into every room like a boss. That's what I've written down on my laptop. And at this point, know your worth. This kind of links to everything I've been saying, but you must know your worth, and you have to realize that you have just as much right as everyone else to be here or wherever you are, to be in the room, to be here on this planet. You have just as much right. It doesn't matter if he's Mr. Big Balls, or, you know, she's so successful or got so many friends, or whoever this person is. It doesn't matter what someone's achieved or how great you perceive someone to be. You have just as much right and just as much potential as them. Don't put anyone else above you, and don't see yourself as lesser than anyone else, because you're not. Every single person is the same. We are all human beings. We are all here. We are all equal. And you have just as much right as everyone else to be your best self. I'm an acting student, and I remember one of my lecturers telling me this, or telling us this to the class, and it really stuck with me. And she was talking about auditions, because when you audition, especially for drama school and stuff like that, it can be so harrowing. It's a very, very hard experience, because you're competing against other people and you constantly compare yourself to other people. And sometimes if you've just watched someone audition and they were amazing, and you start to doubt yourself, and you start to think, oh, you know, those judges, they don't want to see me, like they don't want me to be here, like I'm just another person that they have to watch. But you have to realize that you have a right to be here. You have you are here for a reason. You have a right, and you have just as much right as everyone else. I do keep repeating this, but it's true. There's one more thing that I'm going to share with you in this video, and it is the 5-second rule. This was created by Mel Robbins, and she is an author and motivational speaker, and she wrote a book called the 5-second rule. I haven't read it, but I've seen so many of her lectures on like TED Talks and YouTube. So sometimes you're going to want to be impulsive, and this can be a huge thrill and hugely beneficial to you, because spontaneity is absolutely essential in life. All the time we have sudden inspirations to do something, or a sudden inspiration to say something, or do something, or act on an idea, or answer what someone has said. But just as quickly as this thought comes into our head, we talk ourselves out of it in our head. We make excuses, or we think about it going wrong, or we wonder what would happen. We think about what would happen if we failed, or we just think, oh, we put it off and we think, oh, we'll do that another time. And this tramples the spark of confidence that gave us that thought in the first place. Here is where the 5-second rule comes into play. So what Mel Robbins explains is that when you have the thought or the idea to do something, you count down from 5 seconds, and by 1, you must take action. So by doing this, you don't actually give your brain enough time to talk yourself out of it. And this is why the phrase "don't think, do" is so popular. And I don't know who came up with that term. I don't know who first came up with that quote. It seems to just be a phrase that is around everywhere. So for an example, you've just watched a play, you've come out of the auditorium area, you see the actors come out. There was this one actor who you thought was absolutely phenomenal, really moved you, and you really want to go tell them how much you appreciated their performance and pay them a compliment. But then your brain starts thinking, oh, but no, they're probably tired, and oh, I should really go, and oh, it might be a bit awkward. Or before you even have time to think of those things, when you think about going to give this person a compliment, you count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you just gotta go, and then you just make a beeline for that person. And then before you know it, you're talking to them, and afterwards you will feel so rewarded that you made a spontaneous action that you wanted to make, and you did it without talking yourself out of it or talking yourself down. And so many opportunities pass us by because we talk ourselves out of it in our head, and then we go home and we're like, oh, I should have done that, or I should have talked to that person, like I wanted them to know this, or I should have taken that piece of cake. So I'm going to leave you with one last thing, which is something that, again, a lecturer taught us in a class about having nerves on stage. And that moment when you're in the wings and you have to go on stage, or you have to suddenly perform something miraculous, you get this horrible dread and nerves and anxiety in your stomach, and it can be quite hard to ground yourself. But my lecturer once said something that makes so much sense. Excuse my language, but I'm just being real. So this is what you do. Right before you're about to do it, you just say, fuck it, and then you go do it. And by saying that, it's like a release, and it's you saying to the world that you don't care what happens, you don't care what other people think of you, and by saying fuck it, you release any kind of tension that was in you. It just made so much sense to me. And even if you don't say it out loud, just say it in your head. So if you're ever about to do something that requires a bit of courage, a bit of confidence, you just say that in your head, or whatever you want to say, and just release it, let it go, be free to the wind, and let whatever happens happen. Even if something does go wrong, it's never going to be catastrophic unless it's got people's lives at stake, and you're probably not going to regret it. And if it does go wrong, you will learn from it. I am trying so hard. I'm on the journey, and I want to live my best life, and I want you to live your best life too. I want people to be happy, and I want you to live your best life, and you have to realize these little things in order to do that. With that said, I'm going to leave it there. If there's anything that I ask you to walk away from this video, understand and realize your self-worth, and realize how amazing and awesome you are. Even if you can't do some of these things yet, first love yourself and realize, please realize how important you are. And you're always welcome here on my channel, so thank you so much for checking in. And if you want to see more, please do subscribe. I also have Instagram and Snapchat, so follow me on those because I update you guys on what I'm doing throughout my life. Hope you have a wonderful day, my darlings, and I will see you soon in my next video. Goodbye. I want good.